Sylvia Plath with the ego of Madonna. Same. Well, hi, pals. I just had like a moment where I don't remember where I am. But today, I finally got all the books I bought through the other week. I got them all yesterday. Where am I? Yeah, I managed to buy 5 books with £15 on Amazon. Hell yeah. And I'm going to open them all up now separately, read the blurbs, talk about what I hope for or expect. And if anyone has read the books, then, you know, chip in. So I'm just going to start with the first book. I've got a wrist strap on, so I need to use scissors to open my book parcels. Hell yeah. I'm going to be using one of them to try and get me a wee little job. A wee little writing job. What? Don't do that. Okay, so the first book that in this pile is The Great Gatsby. I have been wanting to read this for a while. I actually really enjoyed, I think, was it 2011? I think, wow, that was my dog. I think it was 2011 the film came out. And it's actually really small, so that's fine. It's small. Same. I bought the adapted for the stage edition. I'm not sure how I managed that. I mean, wow, well done. Fucking dickhead. I might just read that anyway and then get the actual book. Wow, I'm dumb. Let's just read the blurb. F. Scott Fitzgerald's novel The Great Gatsby was first published on April 10th, 1925. Set on Long Island's North Shore and in New York City during the summer of 1922. It is the story of an attractive young man, hopelessly in love, who, having worked so hard to prove himself so he can win back the woman he loves, finds himself in a world where money has replaced humility and despair has replaced hope. I don't really remember much about the film. I remember I love Leonardo DiCaprio. I remember what is his name? Tobey Maguire, that one. I love him. And I actually really liked him playing whatever the fuck character it was he was playing. It's been a long time since I watched that film, but kind of made me want to read the book. So, pardon me. So I'll either read this and that'll be fine, or I'll actually get the novel. That was just really done with me. Right, on to package number 2. I'm sure the rest of these are books and not plays. Right, okay, so the next book in my haul is Unbearable Lightness by Portia de Rossi, which when I was looking at books I'd put in my in my wish list, I didn't realise what Portia it was. It took me actually reading the blurb before buying it to realise who it was. Okay, so let's read the blurb. Portia de Rossi weighed only 82 pounds when she finally collapsed on set, playing her first lead in a Hollywood film. On the outside, she was thin, blonde and successful, but on the inside, she was literally dying. Even as she rose to fame in the hit television show Ally McBeal and Arrested Development, Portia was starving herself and binging, all the while terrified that her sexuality would also be exposed in the tabloids. In this searing, unflinchingly honest book, she captures the complex emotional truths of living with her eating disorder and being in a closet. From her lowest point, Portia began the painful climb back to health and honesty, falling in love with and marrying Ellen DeGeneres, and emerging as an outspoken, articulate advocate for gay rights and women's health issues. Unbearable Lightness is a remarkable book for all those who sometimes feel at war with themselves or their bodies, and a story of hope. So yeah, I'm always looking for books written by and about LGBT people, because they're kind of non-existent, or if they exist, they're bad. And I've been on a bit of like a memoir binge. I've really enjoyed a lot of memoirs recently, or like, I don't know, yeah, memoirs I think. So I'm actually going to use this book. I'm going to start reading this soon. I'm going to use this to apply for a little writing gig. Because, yeah, you know. So this took my fancy as well, besides it being about sexuality and written by someone who is LGBT. I also have dealt with eating disordered issues. Nothing ever diagnosed, so that's why I always call it disordered issues or something vague. So there is one other book that I have read that combines sexuality and eating disorder, which is not otherwise specified. It's very interesting. I do recommend that book very highly. I will make a video on that book on its own as well, eventually, when I get to it. But yeah, so this is just another combination of things that I have also dealt with and would, you know, like to see represented more. So yeah, I mean, it's probably going to be pretty fucking dark. I also used to do drama and acting, so that's like a big part of that as well. Like, a lot of actors are LGBT, and a lot of them have eating disorders, so yeah, boom, like my whole life. So yeah, I'm excited to read that. On to the third of 5 books. What have I done? And this one is called Fighting Anorexia. I'll just read the blurb and then talk about it. My name is Lucy. I am in recovery from anorexia nervosa and major depression, each of which almost killed me. So begins this extraordinary account of a teenage girl's descent into the tortured existence of anorexia and her arduous remarkable recovery. Here we go. Much of this unflinchingly candid memoir, now the memoir, is ripped directly from the pages of author Lucy Howard Taylor's diary as she struggled with the torturous condition, offering a rare glimpse into the thoughts and fears that grip the minds of those struggling with anorexia, the most fatal of all psychiatric illnesses. Tinged with a wicked sense of humour, I'm always down for like dark humour, same. Lucy's beautifully written, penetrating insights. Oh, my voice is going again. Same. Capture the overpowering anxiety that comes with anorexia and reveal the challenge of recovery. This courageous and compelling story will inspire and support those troubled with the condition and their family and friends the world over. And then there's a quote, a graphic yet poetic insight into the pain and suffering experienced by sufferers of eating disorders. There's a few too many sufferings in there. Yeah, there's also another memoir I read quite a while ago now, I think when I was a lot worse with the eating disorder stuff, called Hungry. I always forget who it's by. Her name is Crystal something, and she's now a plus size model. But she used to be, I don't know, like she used to be a skinny model basically. And that was a really interesting memoir. Like I think I think for people with mental health issues, including eating disorders, and also LGBT people, I think it's really important to have memoirs out there, because then you actually read an experience that has happened. Like, I think it's important in fiction to depict these experiences as well, but I think it's really important for memoirs to be out there, because then you know it's not just you that's been through it. So I think that's another reason why I really like reading memoirs about things I've been through, because I think a lot of these memoirs that have been sort of around eating disordered eating stuff did help me a lot to get better. And yeah, like it doesn't have the same effect of if it's fiction, because fiction is made up. It can be inspired by real life things, yeah, but I think when you really are going through things like that, at least you can kind of think, well, there has been someone who's gone through it and come out the other side, and has written it down and put it all out there for everyone to read about. So yeah, I'm one of those people who just continues. Why are all the several of these books have folded pages? I'm annoyed. Folded corners. Yeah, like I just really enjoy reading memoirs that approach topics that aren't, you know, easy. Because the most recent memoir I read was Rose McGowan's Brave. That wasn't easy to read. In a lot of, like, most of it wasn't easy to read because it was very unsettling. And it's sort of the same with a lot of disordered eating based memoirs. They're very unsettling to read because, wow, someone's doing this to themselves. But like, when you're one of those people, you're like, wow, it distances you from it. You're kind of like, wow, I'm doing this to myself. This is weird and gross and disgusting. So yeah, that's one of my buys. There's two left to talk about. I'm struggling to open it, sorry. another one. Prozac Nation. Yeah. Prozac Nation, Young and Depressed in America, a memoir by Elizabeth Wurtzel. Same. A powerful portrait of one girl's journey through the purgatory of depression and back-wrenching and comical. Self-indulgent and self-aware, Prozac Nation possesses the raw candour of Joan Didion's essays. Haven't read those. Might write that down. The irritating emotional expressionism of Sylvia Plath's The Bell Jar. Read that one. Wow, that was a lot. And wry, dark humour of a Bob Dylan song. A book with the same relevance and renaissance as On the Road, Catch-22 and Generation X. Haven't read any of those or watched any of those if they're films. Wurtzel is I don't know how to say her name, so don't at me. Wurtzel is a smart... Same. I can't read. Wurtzel, whatever, is smart, she is funny, she is thoughtful, and she is very, very brave. I'm avoiding saying her name now. She portrays, from the inside out, an emotional life perpetually spent outrunning the relentless pursuit of what she describes as a black wave. Wow, same. What a fucking mood. Brutally honest, astutely provocative, and often bleakly funny. Completely compelling. Sylvia Plath with the ego of Madonna. Same. Again, another memoir, another thing about being mentally ill. Can you tell? Do you know me yet? So there's a few other books that I've read that I would recommend to read if Prozac Nation sounds like your kind of book. Postcards from the Edge. I mean, it's mostly about addiction, but addiction is illness and such forth, and there's definitely... My dog's at my door again. There's definitely a lot of mixture of other mental illnesses with... I mean, once you have one, you have them all, basically. So Postcards from the Edge, that's by Carrie Fisher as well, and it's kind of a memoir but technically not a memoir. The Bell Jar is fucking really bleak. The Bell Jar is so bleak. What other ones were there? Girl Interrupted, the book, is a memoir. It's quite different from the film as well, so I would recommend reading that because there are bits, but it's quite different. And I feel like there was another one I read that is kind of similar to that. Honestly, I've read quite a few. Maybe I'll just make a video on depressing books, memoirs. Books to read if you're depressed. Same. Books to read if you want to suffer. Okay, so now we're on to the last book. Okay, this is probably the most out of character book I picked up, honestly. Go away. All the adverts, go away. So I picked up The Body Book by Cameron Diaz. Feed, move, understand and love your amazing body. Because hey, I'm better than I was, eating disorder wise. I'm not perfect, and I definitely have a lot of improvement to go. I have a lot more I don't know. I need help. It's sort of the one thing I haven't talked about in therapy, really, is much on the eating disordered life I lived. Right, so Cameron Diaz, I also love her by the way, so I was like, fuck me up, sure. Cameron Diaz has been a role model for millions of women all over the world. This is a really heavy book. Throughout her career, but as she'd be the first to admit, she hasn't always been as health conscious as she is now. Same. As a young woman, Cameron didn't always think about how the decisions she was making about her diet and lifestyle would impact her health suffering for years to come. But over the past 15 years, she has discovered that what she eats is inseparably linked to how she feels and looks. That knowledge that nutrition impacts life fueled her hunger to educate herself about the best ways to feed, move and care for her body. In the body book, Cameron shares what she's learned and offers a comprehensive guide for women to look and feel their best. Cameron doesn't offer a one-size-fits-all program, another reason why I bought the book, because anyone who is selling this works for everyone, it's a lie. Or sets goals to reach in 7 days or 30 days or a year. Instead, the body book offers a long-term approach to a long, strong, healthy life, informed by experts and grounded in science, but brought to life by Cameron's passion and personal experiences. The body book is an empowering, educational and inspiring handbook for women everywhere. I mean, I know I don't identify that way, but it's all the same. Who cares? Ugh. I'm just going to have a quick flick through, because I don't really know what to expect in this one. It actually looks quite educational. Yeah, there's like actually stuff in here about protein, serving size, food, weight, fats. Huh. Yeah, it actually looks like a positive book, and it's not just about just love yourself. It's like, hey, actually there are some health things you might need to know about. So here they are. Yeah, it's probably not something I'm going to read just yet, because I have so many books. Well, I mean, this has literally just been about the 5 recent books I've bought. Oh, my legs hurt. Ugh. Oh, God. Help. Right. So yeah, got quite a lot to read. I'm actually really excited. I think I made some good choices, except for my accidental. I bought a play version of Great Gatsby. Dumb. But yeah, I look forward to reading these things, and if you want to hear about what I think after reading, you could probably follow my Instagram, because I do post sort of mini book reviews on there. Or you can just request video or live stream me talking about books that I've read, but let me know which books. Is that it? Well, that was my video for today. Thanks for being here. I don't know. Am I even here? I don't think I'm even here. But I think that's it for today. Same. My brain has just stopped working. think that's about it. Thanks. Bye.